Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana. There is a story captured by the nation. KANU Chairman Gideon Moi will not vie for the Baringo Senatorial seat in the August 9 general election. The nation has learned. That's the story as captured by nation. And if at all that story is actually true, then I want to explain 3 reasons why most likely Gideon Moi is opting out of Baringo Senatorial race. In case you've bumped here for the very first time, subscribe, give this video a like. The first reason, Gideon Moi is aiming at a higher national office, either a deputy president, a prime minister, or even a deputy prime minister, in the event that position is created. And you know, I'm saying that because David Murathe, some months back, actually alluded to that. And if you keenly listen to what David Murathe used to say, almost all of them have actually come to pass, or rather to happen. At a time, Kenyans were still doubting whether Uhuru could actually support Raila Odinga. David Murathe was very clear about that it was a Mandela moment, and that Uhuru Kenyatta was going to support Raila Odinga. And now to go back to what Murathe has been saying, Murathe has been very clear that Gideon Moi will hold a very high office in Raila's government. Maybe a deputy president, a prime minister, or even a deputy prime minister. So with that realization, Gideon Moi is opting out of Baringo Senatorial seat. That's very clear. And then the second reason, I'm seeing a Gideon Moi who is dumping local politics for national politics. Gideon Moi wants to be in the stature of Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Musalia Mudavadi. You know, these are leaders who have actually not been going for these local seats. Kalonzo has not been contesting for any of these local seats. Same to Mudavadi and also Raila Odinga since the advent of the new constitution. I'm also seeing Gideon Moi also now leveraging, or rather, I'm seeing a Gideon Moi who now just want to play that kind of a politics. He's actually dumping local politics, this Uda KANU local politics in Baringo, and now you want to play that kind of national politics because he strongly believes that his chances of maybe one day ascending to the presidency are actually becoming more realistic in the event Raila Odinga succeeds in winning this year's election. So I'm seeing a Gideon Moi who is clearly looking at the bigger picture. So he just wants to start playing national politics as early as he can. And then the third reason, I'm also seeing a Gideon Moi who wants to have ample time to campaign for Raila Odinga across the country. And he believes that by contesting as Baringo Senator, that can hold him back in Baringo, and he won't have an ample time to actually traverse the country in campaigning for Raila Odinga. Because just yesterday, Gideon Moi and Kalonzo Musyoka were in Tharaka Nithi campaigning for Raila Odinga. So I'm also seeing a Gideon Moi who has already seen that the best way actually can deliver, or rather he can offer himself for Raila Odinga's campaigns, is not to defend his Baringo Senatorial seat, but actually to be a free mole, so that he can be a free molecule, so that he can have ample time in campaigning for Raila Odinga across the country. I'm seeing those as the main reasons why Gideon Moi is actually not going for that seat, if at all this story is true. And then remotely, I'm also seeing a Gideon Moi who maybe is trying to avoid some kind of a backlash in Baringo, or rather some kind of embarrassment in Baringo County. You know, Rift Valley, or rather the challenge in Rift Valley, as of today, appears to be predominantly William Ruto. A majority of residents seems to prefer William Ruto. And I'm one person who has actually been maintaining that as much as that might be the case, Gideon Moi as an individual, and now that actually his chances of being, or rather of being in the winning team are very high, I've always maintained that Gideon Moi in one way or the other will actually succeed in influencing a good majority of the Tugen voters to vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. But equally, I'm also seeing a Gideon Moi who may be 50, might still not all be that sure. Is a little bit afraid of maybe the unknown in Baringo County. So he's just trying to avoid all that looming embarrassment by now not opting for that seat. Though that's a remote possibility, because I still believe and I still maintain that when politics will get charged properly, when it will now be very clear to the whole nation that Raila Amolo Odinga is actually going to form government, then Gideon Moi, I know as a result of that wave might cut across the entire country, and Baringo might be swept by that wave. And when I talk about Baringo, I'm talking specifically of the Tugen votes in Baringo, and also the Tugen votes across Rift Valley, and also the Pokot votes. Because largely again, if you look at the Kalenjin sub-tribes, the Pokots are not very much into William Ruto. And even from previous presidential elections, they have been giving Raila Amolo Odinga some good votes. In fact, in the last election of 2017, actually Raila gave Uhuru Kenyatta a run for his money in the Pokot vote, or rather for the Pokot vote. And as I talk in this year's election, already Lonyangapur, West Pokot governor, has already thrown his weight behind Raila Amolo Odinga. And also in 2017, if you look at West Pokot County, a majority of elected leaders there were elected through KANU and not Jubilee Party. And that's also just a manifestation that the Pokot vote largely, they don't approve of William Ruto. So I'm seeing a situation in the Rift Valley where in the event now it becomes now clear to the whole nation that is Raila Odinga, there is going to be also a wave that is also going to try to sweep Rift Valley. And that wave is just going to reinforce the Pokot vote support for Raila Amolo Odinga. And now that Gideon Moi will be in the inner sanctum of that perceived coming government, that's also going to help Gideon Moi to actually mobilize the Kalenjin vote. And in this case, in particular, the Tugen vote to also vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. So Gideon Moi might be trying to avoid that looming embarrassment, but that's a remote possibility. It's clear that Gideon Moi, in my considered opinion, will largely convince the Tugen vote to actually vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I can read from that move by Gideon Moi to opt out of Baringo Senatorial seat. Gideon Moi is angling for a top government, or rather for a top national office, either a deputy president, deputy prime minister, or even a prime minister. That's one thing. Secondly, Gideon Moi wants to start playing national politics. He wants to be seen as a national leader. He does not want to be embroiled in those kind of local politics of KANU, UDA, and such kind of local politics in Baringo and also in Rift Valley. And I'm also seeing a Gideon Moi who just wants ample time to campaign for Raila Amolo Odinga across the country. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, just as I did state when we were starting, in case you've bumped here for the very first time and so far you have not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.